Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So thank you.
Good talk. We'll see you next time.
Great talk.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our System of a Down fundraising virtual event. Myself, John, and Shavo are here to greet you. And we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. First of all, I want to say thank you for, in the last number of months, thanks to your help, we've raised over $550,000 for charity to going to the Armenia Fund. And this will be earmarked for the same donations that we'll be discussing today. We will continue these donations with your help today. And yeah, we've got some incredible giveaways. We've got some jokes by John. And and here we go.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Johnny boy.
What's up, Shavo?
What you got to say, bro? We got a little.
That's it. That's all you have to say is thanks for joining.
Yeah, what you got to say, bro? I want to thank everyone for showing up. Of course, this is it's early in LA, but it's a good time for the world to, be awake right now and check us out.
So this is very informal for everybody that's watching and listening right now. Obviously, it's an important cause for us, and it should be an important cause for everybody. It's a humanitarian effort. These are people who, by no fault of their own, were attacked. Many of them were like volunteers. It was basically a volunteer army that helped protect the land. And, we just wanted to do our part because we felt a little bit powerless, and I guess the best way I could equate it is thinking back to my ancestors and what they must have gone through in 1915. And I'm talking about for the diaspora here, for people that were not living in Armenia proper, how they felt living wherever they lived, picking up a news, their homeland was getting attacked and how their people were getting massacred. Well, we didn't have to wonder anymore because now we had real life experience with it. We've been fortunate in our lives. Our parents, for one reason or another, left either the homeland or wherever they lived because of the genocide. For example, Serge and I both had family that grew up in Lebanon because we lost most of our family in Armenia proper. And we ended up, for whatever reason, in California and came together and formed a band. And because of all of you, we've had a lot of success in our lives. But because of that, we have a moral responsibility to do what we can to help our homeland. And that's what we're doing here today. So I personally want to thank all of you. And I know everybody in the band feels the same way. Without you guys, none of this is possible. Nobody would listen to us right now. It's because of you and your loyalty to this band over the course of the last 24, 25 years, joining us in our love and passion for music, and also joining us in our fight for justice in many different causes, including this one today. So we're going to have a lot of friends that are going to be joining us today. We're going to do some fun stuff. It's not all going to be kind of like this vibe. We just want to have a full understanding for you of what's going on, what's taking place, and there's a lot of people we need to help. And I don't know if this is going to be the last time we'll do something like this because there will always be causes that need our attention. And I think we have that moral responsibility, especially as people that do have access to getting the word out to a lot of people, to make that known. So that's part of why we're here today. Another part is we really haven't had much opportunity to interact with our fans over the course of the last, decade or 15 years. But with technology being what it is and the world being where it is in some ways a smaller world. And hopefully this can bring all of us a little bit closer together, including our fans that live in Turkey and Azerbaijan, Armenia, wherever you may be. We love you and we support you. And we hope that you live in a system that is free and that you have the ability to make your voice heard without repercussion. Ultimately, we all have the same goals. We all want what's good for ourselves, our families. We want to make a better home for the next generation. So we're all unified in that. So again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we are going to have some stories today. We're going to talk about some things we did on tour, you know, like the recording experience. So we're going to get into some of that stuff, as well as doing everything we can to bring light to the present situation.
Well said, brother. Well, I want to show the lithograph. I mean, on your screens, we're showing you guys that for those that donate $75 or more, you get a special lithograph. The picture was taken by Malakian, a good friend of ours, and if you decide to donate over $200, you get a signed version of that lithograph.
For 500, Shavo will deliver it to you personally.
That's right, Johnny. That's right. I'm gonna be flying around the world.
But I'll drive you, so technically it'll be two of us.
There it is. Sergio's showing it. It's the picture that we've made famous recently. Yeah. So it's what, $75 for the litho if you donate 75. If you do 200 or more, you get the signed version of it. So it's actually done on really nice paper. It's not just a regular 8x10, you know.
Also, keep in mind, there's no limit to what you can donate. So if you can donate more, feel free to do so. And if you can donate less, look, every little bit helps. It all goes into the same pool.
And we just appreciate your dedication and participation, honestly, whatever you can do.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Just the fact of you guys just being here early like this, you know,
or late, depending on where you are.
Or late, yeah.
Right.
Means a lot to us. We tried to do this early so most of the world could see it. You know, Armenia, I know, it's 12 hours from us, and Europe's 8 to 9 hours. So yeah, well, thanks for joining us. We will be talking also, I mean, after all this, we're going to be premiering the video for Genocidal Humanoidz, which I'm sure everybody here is excited about. We'll bring on the team that helped me direct it with Adam. Adam will join us. Adam Mason, he amazing director. I'll talk more about him when when that time comes. And I'm just looking forward to premiering it for you guys. It took about 2 months to make, and I'm pretty proud of it for all of us.
You did a great job, Shop. You guys all did a good job on the videos.
You know my passion.
Just want to give a shout out to Renard, who donated 200. Mike also 205. Clark 200.
Ray Otis.
Rainey or Renee Otis.
Ray Otis.
Ray Otis 256.
Thank you very much for that. 256 is always, I don't know.
You guys rule, man.
It's kind of 36 for you, Shop.
Thank you.
The band is obviously underwriting the production costs and shipping costs and everything. So your donations are 100% going to the source, through Armenia Fund, and earmarking different organizations whose representatives we'll be talking to in the next hour and a half, 2 hours.
I want to say Daron also wanted to make it, but yeah, he wasn't able to make it this morning. His heart is fully with us, of course.
He doesn't have kids. He can't get up this early.
Can't wake up for time. We all have kids and we can get up.
We don't have a choice. We're already up.
Wanted to say, he sends his best and his love, and he did want to be here. So that's, what else?
Shab, why don't you talk a little bit about how this came to be with the video, your process of putting the video together?
Well, we did the Protect the Land, and that was more about showing the soldiers, and I had a great team for that. Arasu and John Muko, Lili, everybody was amazing. So that was just a joint effort by everyone just to make it happen. We sent troops to Armenia. Ara's brother was there. Let me talk about that video first, because that was our first one out. The whole concept of that was just to show unity within our people. And, because I said that once somewhere where I said we have really strong ability to unite, and we did, the diaspora mostly. And so that was a joint effort by all of us. We didn't want to perform in that video. There was concepts that we could have been performing, but I felt it was better if we just showed ourselves with everyone as regular people, not these guys in a band, just to show our strength in numbers. This video, though, because of the frantic vibe it has and, the old system energy, I thought it was important that we do show that. Originally, the video was just going to be a concept video that I thought of. I don't want to give away too much of the video at the moment because I think we have some time to talk about it with the actual crew. But it took a little bit to come together because we're in COVID times, And in order to bring us together, the testing had to be done. I couldn't, the crew had to be a certain amount of people. So we decided, instead of doing that live people, actual actors and all that, I thought animation would be the way to go and represent the concept we had in our heads through animation and live performance by us. So that's all I'm going to say really about it. The process was pretty long and tedious because of, we have to get the animation correct with people. And then the live process was really cool for us because I know exactly how we look, and I've been in this band from day one, founder, so it's kind of like I know what everybody likes about themselves. And
yeah, you also did, I have to say, everybody will see it, but you did a very good job covering up some of the the weight gain, some of the stuff over the years. So
hey man, I do my best to like make all of us look perfect. But no, I mean, it's cool to be able to do that for someone within the band, to be able to do that, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to explain to someone else what we want. It's easy for us to just do it because we know what we want. And I know you guys so well. I know Daron, I know both of you so well that I know exactly how to do it, so to make you guys shine, because you do, anyhow. And it's kind of tough being in front of the camera and behind the camera. That's the tough part, because I just have to direct them to say, hey, shoot me like this. And it's kind of a little awkward, but it worked out. So I'm looking really forward to you guys seeing this. We've shot live stuff before of us where I've, directed also, but this was a little tougher because this was really high energy. Most of the other stuff we've done, we've done far shots, we've done wide angle. This was just,
Shavo, what are the major differences, since, we haven't made a video for well over 10 years. What are the major differences in the process of making a video now than it was back then?
Oh, good question. Well, back then we shot almost everything in 35 millimeter film. So plus the budgets were different. The budgets were huge. They would hand us this much money and say, go and shoot. And, I've never ever profited from a video. I've always there's always a director fee. I've always thrown it back in to make the video better, of course, because I think the videos live on longer than we do, it's like making a film. I'd rather it be perfect, So, but back then you had to buy film. So there could be a time where the film ends and you don't have any more film to shoot on. Nowadays, the prices have gone down because we're shooting in digital. I can shoot all day long and have it on a file instead of having to cut film. One of the toughest parts, I'll be honest, was, and this was the same for Protect the Land, was the editing process. Because editing, for me, I like being in the editing bay with my partner, the editor, and be able to show where you want the cuts and then you could see all the footage right there in front of you. But because of COVID, we had to do it over Zoom. We had to call each other, talk about time codes. So that was a little tough. It took longer to edit than it should have because it's tough to, get your point across on Zoom or on FaceTime or, what I mean? But I think the teams that we chose to work with us on these two videos were just amazing, and they handled it and did it like better than professional people. I mean, they're just amazing people. So yeah. So the hard part, like I said, the difference was the film, shooting in a smaller, big place, making it look small was harder too, because we wanted to make the video kind of be like we're in a box, but it ended up looking bigger than that, which is cool because sometimes videos do take a life of their own as they're being filmed. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
it was incredible experience, honestly, especially with Protect the Land. I mean, we hadn't shot a video in that, so long, and coming in and with everything that was happening with the war, we were all just so pumped and wanted to make a difference, Same with recording of these songs. I think, I'm really proud of this band and what we've done, in the last few months, in coming together for something that's beyond us. And doing something in that sense, and recording the two songs, and you made two incredible videos, and I think we needed to do this, and it made a difference. Not just in terms of raising money, because we've donated the songs, obviously, but it's made a difference in terms of press and kind of cutting into this disinformation campaign that Azerbaijan had with their onslaught of bots and everything going on social media. So I'm really proud of what we've done. I have to say that. Yes, we've got some amazing guests today, a lot of friends that are giving their support, as well as a number of nonprofits that will be supporting, that you will be supporting through your contributions. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. John, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think I'll end with this for this segment, is that you don't fight the fights that you think you could win. You fight the fights that need to be fought. You know, so we're fighting against 100 million people, not directly, but the power that an economy of 100 million people has, as opposed to the power of an economy of 2.8 million people in Armenia. So, like you said, the bots, the constant barrage on all the social media platforms, as well as the lobbying power in every single country. We have a large and powerful fight here. So, but that doesn't detract from the fact that it's the right fight. We're fighting for a homeland. We're fighting for people's rights to live in peace. We're fighting for religious beliefs as far as the right to have them in a region that is, predominantly of a different religion. So we believe as Armenians that everybody has a right to life, and everybody has a right to believe the way they want to. And if you believe in God, or if you don't believe in God, whichever God you believe in, more power to you. But that's not a reason to go against another people. That's not. And also, we're kind of between the hammer and the anvil there, and that we're in a position that is important as far as the region is concerned. So, and at this time, we just don't have a lot of power. So we're trying to build that back up. But also, it's a matter of making a lasting peace. We would love to have a lasting peace with our neighbors. That just doesn't seem to be their goal. So we want to change that narrative. We want to change that mindset. And also, we want to change the dictatorship mindset that is happening in both these countries, because they're both, Turkey and Azerbaijan, are led by dictatorships. And we are a democracy in Armenia. And we would like that for them as well, because their people are also suffering. There's many people in Turkey and Azerbaijan who fight for truth and justice. They're basically silenced or put in jail or worse. Mm-hmm. They have a very difficult line to toe over there. So anyway.
All right. Well, go ahead, Serge. Go ahead.
We're going to have a friend of ours a little later, Sebu Simonian from the band Capital Cities. He's made a video recently, and the video is in Artsakh. We'd like to show you the landscape of Artsakh through Sebu's video. It's a beautiful video, so check it out.
Yeah, it's a drone video, the lands that we protect.
This is before the onslaught and the destruction, obviously.
It's kind of sad.
Golden Hi everyone, Justin from Tool here. Last year, Armenia and Artsakh were devastated by a terrible war. Hundreds of people lost limbs and many were critically injured. My old mates from System of a Down are trying to raise the much needed funds to help those that were most affected. So if you can, please donate today. Anything you can give will help and we appreciate your support. Thanks a lot.
Սահմանից հայրենիքի պաշտպանի վերականգնողական կենտրոն։ Այստեղ վիրավոր զինվորի կռիվն արդեն սպիտակ բանակի հետ է։ Պատերազմը խաղաղությամբ փոխարինելու հույսով կռիվ տվող զինվորի համար այսօր կարևորը ձեռքի եւ ոտքի վերականգնումն է, թեկուզ եւ պրոթեզի միջոցով։ Հայրենիքի պաշտպանի վերականգնողական կենտրոնը շուտով կունենա քայլվածքի եւ պրոթեզավորման գերժամանակակից լաբորատորիա, որը ծառայելու է ճակատում կռիվ տված տղաների առողջության վերականգնմանը։ Այն կապահովի ինչպես վերին, այնպես էլ ստորին վերջույթների պրոթեզավորում։ Կենսական ծրագիր, որն առավելագույնի կհասցնի յուրաքանչյուր հիվանդի ֆունկցիոնալությունը, զերծ կպահի հետագա բարդացումներից ու վիրահատություններից։ Այն իրականություն է դառնում նաև Armenian Fund-ի շնորհիվ։ Կենտրոնն ունի միջինացված շուրջ 150 շահառու։ Այստեղից 27-ն ունի ձեռքի պրոթեզավորման խնդիր, որի ձեռքբերմանը դրամահավաքի միջոցով իր աջակցությունը կցուցաբերի System of a Down ռոք խումբը։
Մեր կենտրոնում մենք ընդունում ենք ավելի համեմատաբար ծանր վիճակով տղաներին, զինվորներին, պահանջում է նախապատրաստում այդ տղաներին, պրոթեզավորմանը, հետո պրոթեզավորման փուլ եւ դրանից հետո արդեն մարզումներ։
Իռլանդական օսյուր ֆիրմայի պրոթեզներն են բիոնիկ դրվելու, բայց այստեղ էլի քննարկումներ են լինում, մասնագետները զինվորին հարցնում են դու ինչ գործով ես զբաղվում, ինչ համայնքում ես ապրում, գյուղական բնակավայրում ես ապրում, ծրագրավորող ես, հաշվապահ ես, նկարիչ ես, որպեսզի անհատապես իր համար պրոթեզը ընտրվի, այսինքն բավական բարդ գործընթաց է, նաև մենք մեր տղաներին ասում ենք, այնպես չի, որ դու պրոթեզը դնելու ես եւ հաջորդ օրվանից կարողանալու ես շարժես մատերդ։ Այդ մատերը շարժելու համար էլի մեծ աշխատանք պիտի տանենք տղաների հետ, որովհետեւ բավական բարդ համակարգով են աշխատում ձեռքի պրոթեզներ, սակայն այդ բոլոր գործընթացները իրականանում են շուրջ 3 ամիս է, կարելի է ասել մեծ աշխատանք է տարվի այս ուղղությամբ։
Որակյալ գործընթացի երաշխիքը հանդիսացող ժամանակակից պրոթեզների ձեռքբերումը նաև վիրավոր զինվորների համար անդառնալին նորովի վերադարձնելու հույսն է։ Քայլվածքի 360 աստիճան 3D վերլուծության լաբորատորիան կբարձրացնի կենտրոնի գործառությունը, տրամադրելով հիվանդների հատուկ կարիքների խորը վերլուծություն, իսկ պրոթեզավորման լաբորատորիան կստեղծի ժամանակակից եւ յուրաքանչյուր հիվանդի կարիքներին համապատասխան պրոթեզներ։
Ամենակարևորը իրենք լինելու են շատ որակյալ, միջազգային բարձր որակի որակավորումով եւ իրենք ծառայելու են եւ կյանքի որակի իջեցում չի լինելու տղաների մոտ, լինելու են, փորձելու ենք որ իրենք լինեն լրիվ ինքնուրույն, որովհետեւ ոտքի դեպքում մեկ այլ բան է, ավելի կոմպենսացված է, ձեռքերի դեպքում շատ ավելի բարդ process է, աշխատում են նաև հոգեբանները իհարկե, որովհետև այստեղ պետք է նշեմ շատ կարևոր մաս, որ հոգեբանորեն պետք է հասկանա զինվորը, որ իհարկե պրոթեզը չփոխարինի իր նախկին ոտքը, սակայն դա չի ազդի իր կյանքի որակի վրա։
Այս իրականացվելիք ծրագրերին համընթաց քայլող կռիվ տված տղաները դեռ շատ անելիքներ ունեն։ Կրակային դիրքերից դեպի խաղաղության ճանապարհ, այսօր նրանք գործելու են իրենց ապագայի ուղին հարթելու համար։
Ամեն ինչ պետք է անենք, որ կյանքի որակի վրա չազդի եւ խաները շարունակեն ապրել, արարել, շարունակել իրենց կյանքը բարձր որակով։
So we want to first thank our friend Justin from Tool for the video of support. That video that we just saw was Armenia Fund's program with Homeland Rehabilitation Center and the retrofitting of prosthetics of soldiers. They have over 150 patients and are working diligently to help these guys both in physical rehabilitation as well as mental and psychological help. Our first guest today is Maria Merabian from the Armenia Fund USA. Welcome, Maria.
Hi. Thanks for having me. This is a great event. This event reminds me that being an Armenian is a marathon. It's not a one night or a one day effort. And this is a lifelong commitment that we all have.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a little background on the Armenia Fund, some of what you guys have accomplished, and so people who don't know about Armenia Fund know what's going on there.
Thank you, Serge. Thank you for this event. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk about this. So Armenia Fund is a nonprofit 501c3 organization registered in California, and for the past 25 years has developed large-scale infrastructure in Armenia and Artsakh, roads, hospitals, waterways. We brought clean water, we brought medical assistance, and we stood by the people of Armenia and Artsakh with whatever they needed at whatever time. And now, as you know, together, during the war, we have had so many events and with you guys, several events with you guys, with a lot of the organizations. And somehow Armenia Fund became the bridge between the diaspora and Armenia in somehow putting together and rallying all the assistance that the global Armenian communities could have given to this humanitarian relief, to the humanitarian crisis that we were dealing with. And this center that we just saw, is a rehabilitation center, as you said, that this is to help people who gave the ultimate sacrifice of their lives. And it's to help them not only physically, but also all these other needs, psychiatric needs. I mean, these soldiers most of them have PTSD, and we have to bring whatever we can to them. And I just want to ask all your fans to understand how post-war, we still are struggling, and the war is not over. It's just a different kind of war. We have to help these young people to get back to their lives.
Why don't you talk about some of the programs regarding prosthetics that we'll be raising funds for today?
Yes, so the center, as you mentioned about, is one of the first, and it's really advanced. And we are lucky to get international diaspora help, medical help, equipment, all of that. And we have to understand that this is only one of many. We are working to create these centers in Tavush, Gyumri, and Goris, because those have concentration of people who lost their homes and have come to live in these areas that are border areas. And for them to go to Yerevan and back to get this assistance in the cold winters of Armenia is going to be very difficult. So we are trying to create centers in the three cities of Tavush, Gyumri, and Goris. And they're going to be very similar to what you just saw. And the entire Armenian diaspora is all bought in the idea that this is a priority, both the physical and the psychiatric and psychological needs of the soldiers, and assistance to their families, of course. So, so whatever we raise is going to be first and foremost dedicated to those centers. But then other than that, it's the needs that their families have, and to assistance to their families in terms of shelter, food, medical assistance, and whatever else that they need to get back to their lives.
How many, so besides the Homeland Rehabilitation Center, you're working with a few other clinics, I think, as well, right?
Correct.
In Armenia?
Correct. Not only working with the existing clinics in Yerevan, but it's important to create these new centers because they're very specific to the needs that is out there, that a regular hospital might not have it. And if it is in a regular hospital, we have to understand that we need to create new wards where they're equipped with this equipment and with personnel that know how to deal with this issue. And, in Armenia, we might not have all the specialized personnel, and it's important to bring and invite international experts in rehabilitation. And that's also something that we are trying to do right now.
For those that don't know, during the war, there was an incredible, huge humanitarian effort from countries around the world, diaspora and Armenians helping bring in aid into Armenia for the people of Artsakh and the displaced people from Artsakh. And a lot of, that work is being continued today because we still have, 100,000 displaced people from Artsakh living in different parts of Armenia. And there are people that have gone back to Artsakh, but, it's a security challenge because, they're protected by Russian peacekeeping troops, but we don't know what the future brings, which brings us to, something we don't, regarding status of those people that we can talk about later.
Serge, One
Yeah.
more thing I wanted to add that it's interesting in the projects that we're doing. One of them is in Stepanakert, that it's like a little master planned community, that some of the plans were already there, that includes a total of 400 homes for people who were displaced but want to go back.
Right.
And we're working on that right now in developing, you know, finishing the master plan and starting construction. Phase 1 is 100 homes. And then over 4 years, it's 400 homes. And also some housing projects that are called agricultural villages that are in Davush, Gyumri, and Goris, because somebody who's displaced from Hadrut and was in agriculture, you don't want to put them in some high rise in Yerevan. So
Right.
you have to create the atmosphere and environment where it's similar to what they are good at, what they can do, where they lived before.
Right.
That makes sense.
Of course. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that actually made me know more than I did before. We appreciate it very much. I just want to reinstate the importance of you guys donating right now to us, to the cause, how important it is, and how much it's needed at the moment. Anything else to add, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you for all your efforts. You know, it takes all of us doing our part, from donating to setting up the everyday logistics, which are probably the hardest part of any of this, is getting the help to the people directly and trying to cut through the red tape of, you know, this is a different country we're talking about at the end of the day. So, or 2 different countries really. So we just want to thank you. We know it's a tremendous effort, but hopefully we can all join together and make it a little bit easier for people like you and you as well and everybody in your organization. But
Thank
you, Maria.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Good luck.
That was amazing. You know, brought a lot of attention to what's being done there, because that's something that I think is a issue where people don't know where the money's going and stuff. So that's a lot of questions. So I'm glad that you got to answer and let us know what's happening with all the important donations. I'd like to bring up our second guest. He's one half of Capital Cities, Shavo Simonian. He's a great friend of the band. There he is. Hey,
there he is.
Hey, what's
Shavo,
up?
how are you, brother?
How's it going,
Good,
bro?
how are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing that video at last minute like that.
Shavo, lean back a little, brother. Lean back a little so we can see you. There you go.
How's that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's such a sad time. It's so overwhelming. I'm sure everybody's experiencing insane emotions for the past 2, 3, 4 months after the war started. It's surreal, but it's so depressing, and all you can do is just keep fighting. That video, it was shot by a guy named David from Daron. And he had compiled all this footage. This is what he does. He has a lot of amazing drone footage from all of Armenia. If you go to his YouTube channel, you'll see footage of Yerevan and Northern Armenia, Southern Armenia, Artsakh and everything. So this is footage that I was able to get my hands on before he published it. And we put it to that song, which is Garmir Karindag. And as you know, Karindag is a village underneath, at the bottom of the cliff, beneath Shushi. And it's just insane to think that right now it's not under our control, and that we were there. I was there just very recently, hanging out, putting up a candle in Ghazan Chetsot's church, and you know, at least this video will kind of be a documentative type piece of footage of how beautiful it was. And how beautiful it will be again when we fight this fight, and really, you know, it shouldn't really be about, oh, this is my land, this is your land. Obviously, in the long term, we all want peace. We all want to share the land with all humanity in a peaceful way, but not like this. You know, this is just insane. They're coming in and desecrating this beautiful history, this culture. It doesn't matter if it's Armenian or not. It's art, you know, it's culture, it's peaceful places that we're supposed to just enjoy life and appreciate the universe and everything. And here they are just, I mean, I don't understand where this evil is coming from. And it's sad because you kind of become a jaded and you give up. You know, sometimes you'll have like a day or two or a week where you're just like, you know what, I'm going to stop watching the news. I'm going to stop caring because I've lost hope in humanity. Right. But, you know, those feelings come in waves, and we should push them away and think positive and do things like this, what you're doing, and really focusing on what's important, which is human beings out there who are suffering and struggling and need help to come back, you know, and enjoy life, as most of us are so privileged to be able to do, you know, in peaceful places.
When was the last time you were in Artsakh?
Just before November, a year and a half ago. Not even before the lockdowns. I was in Armenia twice, actually, in the end of 2019. Capital Cities got to play our first show there.
In Gyumri, right? Yeah.
For the Independence Day celebrations, and then I went to Artsakh, as I usually try to do every time I go, and it was so beautiful. We took the road from the opposite side this time, the newer road, the Vartenis road, and there was snow, and
a road that now Azerbaijan is bombed, right?
They've bombed, yeah, and it goes through, you know, disputed territory that they've gotten control over now. You know, pretty much most of the Lachin area, the whole Kelpacha, Karvaja. It's so funny how they talk about names and how they have their names versus our names. And Kelpajar is a derivation of Karvajar, you know, which is where Karvajar, like they would sell stones, they would sell boulders there. It was like a rock kind of resource area, Karvajar, and then they call it Kelbajar. It's the same name, you know, and then the idea that Shusha is different than Shushi, you know, it's like, it's the same name. What are you talking about? Shushan, you know, it's an Armenian name. Like you know, it's so funny how there's these like arguments about history and how they say it's theirs versus ours, but it's all like, you know, whoever lived there for a certain time named it or renamed it. Big deal, you know?
How's the support been from your fans?
Good. I get a lot of support from everyone. Every time I post something about anything, you know, we get love. During the social media cyber warfare that was going on, obviously you guys are aware of how dirty it was on the other side, and how every time you would post anything, even if it was neutral and just informative, you would get this hate from the Azeris and the Turks. But of course, most of them were either robots or paid to do this propaganda work. So it was a hard fight. But you know, my friends and fans were appreciative that I did some things. I certainly didn't do enough. And Capital Cities is interesting, is because we're totally like kind of on a hiatus, and the platform was a little awkward, to be honest, for me to push this work of raising awareness. But I do have a plan, actually. There's this one video I'm working on, and I'm going to be uploading it soon. And it's interesting because back in 2014, when Safe and Sound became a big hit, and it was a big hit in Azerbaijan as well, they conducted this huge flash mob in downtown Baku to Safe and Sound. And I don't think they realized that they were dancing to an Armenian singer when they did it. And it was cool. And it's up on YouTube. And someone, I think, called them out on it. Hey, you guys realize you're dancing to an Armenian singer? And the organizers were like, we don't care. We're okay with that. We're not racist. We're not you know, going to hold it against them or anything like that. So there was this interesting back and forth.
It brings you back to the point, which is your leadership dictates where you go. And they have leadership that is so anti-humanity and anti-togetherness, and they don't want an end to the war. They thrive on it, because if they have an end to a war with Armenia, then the people will have to look inwardly. So right now they have a lot of propaganda, and it raises a lot of questions. So they're looking outwardly, and that's the way they want it. Trust me, Erdogan doesn't want people looking inwardly, because then it'll be the end of his reign. And the same for Aliyev. You know, neither of them wants it. So we're a convenient enemy because it's hard for us to fight against the military and industrial as well as financial might that they have. Hard but not impossible. So which we've shown.
Right.
And we have to make them understand that it will take a great toll on them to continue fighting with us because we are resilient people at the end of the day, and we will fight, and we have a lot of support. So it's a matter of galvanizing our power. All right. Hey, Seb, thanks, bro. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks for all your efforts. You know, you're a true friend to the band, and we're very proud to have you among us, okay?
Thank you, brother.
You guys are amazing. We look up to you, and thank you for all the hard work you guys are doing, and the amazing music. Finally, we get to hear some new System of a Down, which I have heard, and I can't wait to watch this video today. Amazing stuff, guys. Love it.
Thanks. I hope to see you soon. Take
Be
care.
well.
See you.
Տասնինամյա Գևորգ Սարապյանն իր ճակատագրին երբևէ դեմ դուրս չի գալիս։ Պատերազմի օրերին նա առանց վարանելու զենքը ձեռքին սահմանին էր, ծառայում էր Հադրութում։
Սկզբից չենք կարացել հասնենք մեր առաջնագից, որտեղ մոտ առաջնագիծը սաղ վերցրել էին, վերցրեցին ավելի ճիշտ ընթացքում, հետո գիշերը շատ ուշ ժամի մենք կարացանք մեր 11 պոստը հետ վերցնենք ու սկսենք մեր կռիվ անել, մեր պոստերը հաստատվենք մեր պոստերում ու սկսենք մեր կռիվը էլի։
Կռվի ականատեսը խոսքերի մեջ զուսպ է, բայց վստահ ասում է, այնտեղ դիրքերում պայքարը տարվում էր մինչև վերջ։ Նա զենքը վայր դրեց միայն վիրավորումից հետո։
Ոչի բանի չէինք սպասում ու տենց հանկարծակի խփեց տանգ էլի ոնց որ։ Հենց որտեղ որ ես կայնացա իմ դեմի թմբի։ Շատ ուշ է եղել, ես որ վիրավորվել եմ, սկզբից չեմ էլ ջոգել որ ինձ ակապնում, որովհետև այդ բանը որ առնում դիառումա չես ջոգում որ։ Հետո 3 րոպե հետո նոր զգացել եմ որ արդեն լավ մեծ սակ է բացվել ոտից վրա, հետո գոռացել եմ տղեկ եկեք տարել են, խրամատում մեր տղեկից մեկը ժգուտ դրեց ոտից։
Զինակից ընկերների ցուցաբերած օգնությունից հետո Գևորգն իր առաջին վիրահատությունը տանում է Ֆիզուլիի դպրոցներից մեկի բակում, գետնի վրա։ Այնտեղից տեղափոխվում է Ստեփանակերտ, վերջում Երևան։ 2 ամիս է ինչ այցելում է վերականգնողական կենտրոն։
Դե սկզբից ասեղնաբուժությունն է, հետո արդեն կինեզոթերապիա։ Շատ հեշտ է հետաքրքրել պրոցեսները, թե բժիշկներն են շատ լավը, թե անձնակազմը ու շատ լավ մտնում են տասել։
Սահմանի մարտիկն արդեն համակերպվել է ժամանակավոր պրոթեզի հետ, հետագայում մեծ սպասելիքներ ունի, ել ավելի վարժ քայլելու ու կյանքը փոխելու համար։
Կյանքը այլ ընթանում է, իր հունով չի ընթանում, բայց գցենք տեղել սա ժամանակի ընթացքում։
Ժամանակին համընթաց նրանց քայլեցնելու համար էլ պայքարում են բուժհաստատությունները։ Այսօր առաջնայինը տղաներին որակյալ ու ճիշտ պրոթեզավորումն է։
Hey, I'm Gavin from Bush. Please join me and my brothers from System of a Down by donating funds to those affected by the war in Artsakh and Armenia. Stay safe. Much love. Thank you.
So my team came here in 2013 from Harvard Medical School. I'm a dermatologist at Harvard, assistant professor. I came with Dr. Rox Anderson, who's full professor of dermatology at Harvard Medical School, and my colleague, Dr. Ray Jolian. All 3 of us came in 2013 to Armenia with the purpose of establishing a medical laser treatment center, which did not exist. We brought laser equipment from donations from companies such as Candela and Quanta Lasers. We brought those lasers to Armenia. We trained the doctors on how to use the lasers, and we treated patients here. And the main purpose of our mission was to establish a medical treatment center in Armenia where patients with scars and vascular malformations could get these treatments for life-altering skin diseases.
My name is Rox Anderson, and I'm a professor in dermatology at Harvard Medical School in Boston. And I spend my time doing both taking care of mostly children and also doing research. So many of the lasers that are here came from my laboratory. And as you can see, I'm an old guy. I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, so we're here in Armenia to help people. That's why we're here. And to do that, sometimes you need to have special technology. So we bring some lasers that are specially made to treat different kinds of skin problems. And those problems range from simple cosmetic things to major life-altering changes like burn scars. So lasers are modern technology that you need to have if you want to treat people properly. So one of the things we bring to Armenia are the lasers, and we teach the local doctors how to use them. I have to say that your local doctors are very good. They want to learn, they take good care of the patients, and it's a pleasure to get to know them.
The benefits that I experienced from the laser treatment on my left leg, I noticed almost immediately. I told you that as I was strengthening my leg, as the muscle was developing, I was starting to have more and more pain in my left foot, and you know, it was impossible to get a decent night's sleep. Every 45 minutes to an hour, I'd be waking up, I'd have to massage the foot, and then you'd go back to sleep for another 45 minutes to an hour, and then you get up and do the process all over again. So I don't know exactly what was happening, and that's not why I saw the derm clinic. I just thought they were going to be able to treat the scar, and the fasciotomy scar on the left side was the one that they had started treating first, and they zapped me or treated me that day, and that night I had almost no pain in my left foot. So that was probably, the first good night's sleep I had gotten in more than a year. I also started getting a little bit more range of motion. I was about 10 degrees shy of neutral, which meant that my left foot dropped. I couldn't get it up to 90 degrees. I couldn't get it flat unless I put weight on it. I couldn't do it on my own. Over the course of the treatments, I started slowly but surely getting, more and more range of motion. So now I am at neutral. I can get to neutral by myself. I don't need somebody to push on it, or I don't need to put weight on it or anything like that. I can do it all on my own. So that's after, going through a year of physical therapy, not being able to get to that point, and then the only thing that changed were the laser treatments. Right? So there's no doubt in my mind that they helped me get that little extra that I needed to.
Thank you, Gavin, for that kind message. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Lili Garibian. She's from Harvard Medical School. She's an associate professor there and founder of the charitable organization Face of Angel.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Serge, for the introduction. I am a physician scientist at Harvard Medical School, and I'm the founder of the Face of Angel nonprofit organization. And thank you for having me here today.
Thanks for joining us, Lili. Serge?
Tell us about your organization and your mission to bring laser therapy to Armenia.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the purpose of our organization, Face of Angel, is to really bring this much needed state-of-the-art scar laser therapy to Armenia for healing the painful and disfiguring scars of our wounded soldiers. So these brave young men have placed their lives on the line for Armenia, and some of them have perished defending Armenia, making the ultimate sacrifice. But those who survived are suffering from unimaginable physical and mental trauma and chemical burns from this illegal use of white phosphorus. So the internal scars that these soldiers bear, we may never be able to erase. But there are ways with advanced laser technology that we could heal their physical scars. So these physical scars, some of them covering more than 50% of their body, are not only disfiguring and a constant reminder of what they've lived through, but they're also very painful and itchy, and some of them actually constrict movements of their arms and legs and hands. And I call on all of you to help us raise the much needed funds to get this laser. And my team and I will personally do all the work and the training of Armenian physicians on how to properly use these lasers to treat our soldiers. And I promise to do all that is in my power to make sure that this advanced laser technology actually benefits our soldiers. And I also want everyone here to know that Face of Angel has actually the experience, the expertise, and the track record of doing this successfully for the past 8 years. So since 2013, my team, which is composed of board-certified dermatologists that are laser-trained experts, have traveled to Armenia regularly to establish this medical laser clinics for treating patients with life-altering birthmarks and scars. And one of our founding team members who you saw in the video is my mentor and colleague, Professor Rock Sanderson from Harvard, who is a world-renowned expert on laser technology and is the inventor of this specific laser. With his help, we've trained local physicians in Armenia to do this work, and our results, have changed the lives of many patients in Armenia. And one thing that I do want to also emphasize is that these lasers are not just for cosmetic use. As you saw in the video, laser treatments allows the use of arms and legs that otherwise patients with scars would not be able to use. It relieves the pain and the itch that's associated with the scars, so our wounded soldiers could get a better normal sleep. And these lasers are so effective for treating burn and trauma scars that every US military hospital has several of these. And I think our soldiers deserve the same. And my team will bring the same rigor, accountability, and the results-oriented approach to this project that we've done already.
So this laser doesn't exist in Armenia, right? And it's something that you're doing to bring from the US.
Correct. It doesn't exist in Armenia, and we really want to help raise the money today. So we need everybody's help to obtain this laser, take it to Armenia, and treat this young, brave soldiers. And the least we could do, I think, is help them move forward with a better chance in living a more normal life after sacrifices that they've made.
Doctor, how much are the machines? Just to put it in perspective.
How much is what? I'm sorry.
How much is a single machine? The laser?
Yeah. So the laser machine, which is the Luminous Ultra Plus that you saw in the video, runs about $200,000.
Wow.
So it's expensive because it is top of the line, best laser for scars.
Okay, so if anybody is interested in donating $200,000 to sponsor one of the machines, I'm not joking. You will have a lifetime pass to any show System of a Down does anywhere. And I would like to take you personally to dinner at a restaurant of your choosing in either Los Angeles or Las Vegas. Now, there are people up there that can step up to that level. Don't forget that your your contribution is fully deductible here in the United States and probably as many other places as well. It's for a great cause. And that one machine will help countless victims of this banned substance that Azerbaijan and Turkey used, not only on Armenian soldiers, but force. Think of, for those of you who maybe love animals more than people, like my wife, she loves animals a lot more than she likes people. Think about all the animals that were destroyed in these forests when they dropped this banned substance, which is this
white phosphorus.
White phosphorus, which is basically melts people. Think of it that way in those terms. So imagine that you're in a forest, you're a soldier, you're trying to protect your homeland, you're defending your homeland, and then all of a sudden from the sky, white death falls on you. But it doesn't just kill you, it kills the forest, it kills the trees, it kills the animals that live in that forest. So the damage is incredibly profound. So here we are. This is something that can ease the pain of some of these soldiers, bring them back to a life of normalcy. And thank you very much, Doctor, for bringing this to our attention and all your efforts to bring these to the forefront in Armenia.
Thank you so much. I really want to, say I'm very extremely grateful to Serge, Angela, Tankia, and George Tonikia, and the entire System of the Down, Daron, Shavo, and John, for the opportunity to really join forces and help our soldiers. I know the System of the Down has done so much for Armenia and continues to do so daily. I just want you to know that we all really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Of course, thank you very much. Thank you for what you do. We're, amazing
Yes,
work. Amazing
for
work.
being a part of this today and taking time out of your life to join us today. And also, just for our fans that are donating, you can email your donation for the same amount. We will honor that to the same email that we have been telling everyone to email. I'm not sure what that means, but they just asked me to say that.
They emailed their donation slip, and so that we know that so that we can send them the litho depending on the different tiers and.
Oh yeah, so if you do donate the 200,000 to get the machine, you'll still get the litho. I don't want you to feel like you're not.
Right, no, sign one.
It's included in. No, not signed.
You'll get 100,000 of them.
300,000, you get the sign.
We get 100,000 of these.
Technically,
start a business.
You only have to sell one ticket if the ticket is expensive.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for being with us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
That was so informative, guys.
Yeah,
I'm actually learning a lot from seeing the videos and hearing the doctor speak and the girl from Armenia Fund. This is amazing. Yeah, man.
Funds that are donated today, and the funds that we've acquired so far and through donations via Armenia Fund will be equally split among these different organizations. Dr. Lilith's nonprofit, Armenian Wounded Heroes Fund, and a program at the Homeland Rehabilitation Center for prosthetic hands, etc. We're very, very excited about the prospects of helping these different organizations help wounded soldiers get the prosthetic limbs, get the rehabilitation that they need. Our next video is Lieutenant Colonel Sarkis Stepanyan. He works with the Wounded Heroes Fund, and they have a rehabilitation center that they work in, and let's launch the video.
Ողջունում եմ ձեզ, ես Սարգիս Ստեփանյանն եմ, հայոց բանակի սպա, կոչումով փոխգնդապետ։ 2014 թվականին մարտական առաջադրանք կատարելիս վիրավորվել եմ, կորցրել եմ ոտքերս եւ աջ ձեռքս, բայց երբեք չեմ հուսահատվել։ Շարունակում եմ պատվով եւ հպարտությամբ ծառայել հայրենիքիս։ Մարզվում եմ պրոֆեսիոնալ բասկամարտով, աշխարհի եւ Եվրոպայի բազմակի հաղթող եմ ճանաչվել եւ իմ օրինակով, իմ քայլերով, իմ գործունեությամբ փորձում եմ ոգեշնչել մեր վիրավոր զինվորներին։ 2016 թվականից հանդիսանում եմ հայ վիրավոր հերոսներ հիմնադրամի անդամ։ Մեր ֆոնդը արդեն 5 տարեկան է, բայց այս կարճ ժամանակահատվածում մշտապես եղել է հայոց բանակի եւ հայ զինվորի կողքին իր աջակցությամբ։ Անհրաժեշտությունից ելնելով հայ վիրավոր հերոսներ հիմնադրամը Արցախյան 2020 թվականի այս պատերազմում վիրավորված, անդամահատված, վիրավոր զինվորներին օգնելու է ձեռք բերել արդիացված որակյալ պրոթեզներ եւ փետրվար ամսից բացելու ենք վերականգնողական կենտրոն, որտեղ պրոֆեսիոնալ մասնագետների օգնությամբ մեր զինվորները վերականգնողական մարզումների շնորհիվ սովորելու են քայլել, ճիշտ օգտագործելով պրոթեզի արդյունավետությունը եւ ամենակարևորը զարգացնելու ենք կամային հատկություններ։ Մենք մեր խորին շնորհակալությունն ենք հայտնում եւ բարձր ենք գնահատում ձեր յուրաքանչյուրի կողմից նվիրաբերված գումարը հայ վիրավոր հերոսներ հիմնադրամին, որը ուղղվելու է միայն ու միայն մեր զինվորների վերականգնմանը։
That was an amazing video. There's a lot of work being done by Armenian Wounded Heroes Fund. Our next guest is Artsakh Garabedian, a good friend of mine, co-host of Good Day LA, Fox 11. She's usually the one interviewing us, and so we're switching the microphone today. How are you, Artsakh? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for coming on this first. Thank you.
Artsakh, you've got so many stories that you've highlighted through your Good Day LA program, stories of humanitarian aid, stories of soldiers who've lost limbs. So I'm just going to give you the microphone and let you go with it, basically, and tell us what are some of the impressions that you've gotten. Obviously, you've been very active during the war in showing what's going on in Artsakh and from the disinformation campaign of Azerbaijan to the aggressive war tactics, to the banned weaponry, to the humanitarian catastrophe within Artsakh and Armenia. Why don't you share some stories with us that you've shown on your on Good Day LA?
Well, I'll tell you about just my experience in being in the media and trying to tell this very important international story for the audience. Obviously, this is Los Angeles. This is technically local news. What was happening so many thousands of miles away did not fit that criteria. However, because of the large Armenian population here, it became an important story to tell for this community. And so my job came to the point where I had to convey and put into context what was happening and why it mattered here. And it was challenging because this is where we come back to the importance of having representation in the different fields that we find ourselves in media, to have writers, to have producers, to have editors who are Armenian, Armenian American, what have you, so that they understand why certain stories deserve to be highlighted and in the spotlight. And so I had to localize the story, and I did this in the way of finding people who had gone to Armenia, whether it be doctors or people who were volunteering, and finding these little pockets of human interest stories that then the general wider audience would understand, because it was difficult for people to understand the history. It was difficult for people to understand the politics, and maybe they didn't want to understand. And they found themselves in this position where they were like, this is too much for me to comprehend, and therefore it doesn't matter. And so in order for it to matter, my job came to making people understand why they should care. And people connect to human stories. People connect to a father losing a son. People connect to a father bearing a child. People connect to someone whose life will never be the same because of the injuries they have suffered, right? These are things that people can understand.
Right. There were a number of stories that were very touching that I was watching from your program. The personal stories obviously affect all of us. Why don't you talk about how difficult it was in terms of being a media representative of the Armenian culture within Los Angeles, and there was basically not a lot of information regarding Azeri, Turkish, Syrian mercenary attacks on Artsakh, and there was almost like a media, silence on the whole thing. And tell us about how difficult it was to really kind of push that platform so that people really understand what's going on.
Well, you have to push without appearing like you're pushing, number one, because obviously I am Armenian, and obviously immediately people would say, well, you're biased, so therefore you're going to want to tell this story. But it's to make people understand that it's not about being a certain race. It's not about being Armenian. It's not about being Azeri. It's about just what's happening in this area and why people should care, because it is a humanitarian crisis, and how this can trickle and become something much bigger. And it's not just about your immediate world at the moment. It's about the bigger good of society. It's about the bigger world, right? And so sometimes I think we find ourselves just caring about what matters next door versus what matters far away from us. Why should that matter? I think it's challenging, obviously, when you're in local news to try to tell these bigger than life stories. But it becomes our duty, just like, we come back. I heard you guys all speaking earlier, Shavo, I think you mentioned it, that we each have a job to do because we each feel this great sense of responsibility. And so I had this personal responsibility. I felt this personal connection to have to do what I had to do because it was my duty as an Armenian American to do this, but also because this is my job. At the end of the day, what is the job of a journalist? Is to give the voice to the voiceless. It's to tell people what's happening around the world. It's about widening people's perspective, making people understand and care. It's about something bigger than yourself. It's about everyone else. And that is something that I think we have to keep in mind. And I also think what you're doing today, real quick, I want to mention in case my time runs out, is so important because although technically the war is over, in so many ways, the people's lives that have been impacted by this, they are going to fight a war every single day. And when I say that, I mean these young soldiers who don't have eyes, who don't have hands, who don't have legs. We cannot forget about them because what they are about to face is something so much greater and something that we can't probably understand because it's just beyond our comprehension. But you have to all, for them, fight this fight now and make sure that they're taken care of. The psychological impact of what they've gone through is going to forever change them. And so we lost so many young soldiers, a generation to this war. Let's not lose the other generation who will be psychologically impacted by this.
Also, I think it's important that as we strengthen Armenia's medical teams, our hospitals, the way we give care, it's important that because of what we've gone through, we also understand that it's something that we can play forward as well, right? We can help other people that are victims of atrocities anywhere in the world. If we can set up Armenia, I feel like that's part of our responsibility as well. Once we have something strong, because we have a sensitivity to it that a lot of other cultures may not, right? A lot of people haven't been attacked. The United States has never been attacked, really, in our history. So it's something that it's far away to a lot of people here. And in a lot of countries in Europe, you haven't experienced war in 100 years or so. So you haven't seen the atrocities that take place, but we're seeing that now. And we have to be aware of it. And we also have to bring the attention to people who, oftentimes are used to a more sensationalist media. You have COVID, you have the presidency, and that was an interesting time they chose, probably by plan, to make those attacks, and keeping in mind that we're under a ceasefire right now, and that the war is not over. It could very well begin again. And it's important to not only help the people that are suffering right now because of the war, but also strengthen the country and strengthen our resolve, which ultimately is how we're going to survive and how we have survived for almost 7,000 years as a culture.
And I know it can be exhausting. I heard Sebu mention this, where you're just physically, mentally, emotionally just so tired. We're just tired. We all are, right? But the only time where I felt my best was when I was doing the work. And I know you can all relate to this because you were putting that energy into something positive and you were focusing on this. And this is a message to everyone in the community to not get distracted by the noise. There's a lot of noise. And if you allow yourself to get distracted by the noise, you are not going to accomplish what you need to accomplish. So stay focused and just focus on yourself. Do what you need to do to help the community.
Whenever I get tired or frustrated or angry or whatever, I just remember that my family, the members who survived the Armenian genocide of 1915 and walked through a desert to get to Lebanon, they didn't have the option of getting tired. They didn't have the option of saying, okay, well, I've had enough and let me just go do something else. Mm-hmm. And that gives me a lot of energy and a lot of focus and a lot of fire to continue, not only to bring attention to this struggle, but also other struggles. Again, I can't point out how important it is as Armenians that we are on the forefront of bringing to light injustice anywhere that it's happening, whether it's happening in our country or another country or the country that we choose to live in and call our own. I love the United States and I feel like I'm a patriot and that I would do anything for the United States, but it's my responsibility also to bring to light things that we're doing wrong here. In general, it takes a lot of, for lack of a better word, balls to put it out there. And I think you've got a lot of balls to put your career on a line in certain ways and to be on the forefront of this. You're in the media, and at the end of the day, there are repercussions sometimes for being honest with your feelings and fighting for justice. Mm-hmm. And I think it takes a lot of bravery and heart, and I'd like to commend you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That means a lot. Greatly appreciated. And sometimes you do what you have to do. You do what's right.
Of course. You always have to do what's right, ultimately. And if we can get that point across to more people, I assure you that we won't have situations like this happening again. Because at the end of the day, the people that, and I can't point this out enough times, and I'll probably say it another 5 times today, but the people that are in Azerbaijan, the common folks, they're not interested in fighting Armenia or anyone else. They don't want to see their sons go to battle or their daughters go to battle or people die in villages. They don't want Armenians massacred. They don't want Azerbaijanis massacred. They just want to live their lives, have peace with their neighbors, and hopefully bring a better life for their kids and generations to follow. But their leadership pushes them into this, lies to them, puts fear into their hearts, as if Armenians are going to attack them and massacre them. And there's a lot of disinformation. The only way you combat disinformation is with correct information. And we have to hammer that through.
And to find the light, because there's a lot of darkness around us. And speaking in general, around the world, we have to find the light and go toward that light as people, just as people.
Yeah, right after, when the ceasefire happened, I noticed a lot of people in our community, in the Armenian community, just were really, really, obviously, we're all devastated and grieving. And it's a very important point you brought up, Araxia, that I think we need to really put our heads down and work and not, it's time to double down with Armenia. It's not time to back off, and it's not time.
The work has only begun, Serge, to your point. The work has just begun. It didn't end when the ceasefire was implemented.
Right. It's even more important for us to be doing these kind of things, raising funds and participating, investing, not just financially, but in personal equity and personal, bring anything that we can, whatever skills that we have to our people. So this is really important. I'm glad you brought that up.
And in the long term, we have to think about how we can invest in Armenia and strengthen it with business. We have to put our money there. We have to put it to work. We have to strengthen the economy in Armenia. We can take a lot of cues from Israel, which is a small nation that was originally surrounded by what they perceived as enemies, and they made it work. They strengthened themselves from within. The diaspora helped in as much as they could, and that's what we have to do. We have to take a cue from Israel as much as possible.
So now
you can donate SOAD fundraiser. What is it? Serge, can you mention that?
Certain countries will not allow you to donate through YouTube, which is how we're donating here. So if that doesn't work, if you can't donate directly through YouTube, you can go to armeniafund.org/donate and make your donation through there. Please make a note of SOAD fundraiser so that they know that it's part of this fundraising effort.
Also, I want to thank everyone for donating so far. I think we've hit like the $26,000 mark, which is good, but I'd like to make it more. So if you're out there,
come on, people, come on.
Let's get this going. This is important, guys. Very, very important. Araxia, we all want to thank you again for joining us and everything you do and everything you've done so far and everything you keep on moving forward for us. We really appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank to all of you. Again, this is a collaborative effort in so many ways. Thank you for the opportunity, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Jim Lee, comic book artist and publisher here. Just want to give a big shout out to you all for your generous contributions and support for this worthy cause. The much needed funds will be used to aid soldiers who are in desperate need of prosthetics and other advanced medical care. So thank you again for making a difference.
That was Jim, who was a good friend of everyone in the band and one of the nicest people I know. Great guy, always supportive. Let's talk about that lithograph again. Serge, could you show that lithograph again, please? So for those of you who can donate $200, you're all going to get one of those signed. Signed. Yeah, isn't that what I said? Shavo's going to sign it twice because that's what he does when you donate 200. And remember, for those of you who donate 200,000, you'll also get free System of a Down tickets for life and lunch or dinner with a member of your choosing.
And for $75 or more, you get the lithograph, but it won't be signed. So, I mean, look,
you might as well send in the 200.
Might as well get this signed. The value of it, actually, I'm not touting this here, but we've sold T-shirts that are signed for donations for Armenia Fund for $500 to $1,000. So the value of this is actually incredible. If you're a collector of System of a Down stuff or collector of anything, really, this would be an amazing thing to have.
And this will be actually one of the most limited items that we have that we've ever put out. So, you know, I'm a collector of things, and I know Shavo's a collector. Serge, you're not so much a collector, are you? Not really. But Shavo and I definitely are collectors. Some people call me a hoarder.
Yeah.
So basically, like my collection consists of something that looks similar to the last scene of Indiana Jones, where they're in that warehouse. That's kind of like what my collection looks like. But I like things that are unique and rare, and you can't have anything more unique and rare than this. There'll only be, I don't know, a few hundred of these made, signed by all four of us. It's really tough to get all four of us in a room together. As you can see, we're not even in the same place right now. So to get us all to sign something is rare. And this might end up being the second rarest thing that we've ever put out in System of a Down.
What's the first, John? What was the first thing?
The first is that necklace.
Oh, the hand, that's right.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
There's only a couple of hundred of those.
Yeah.
And I still have like 50 of them. So
yeah.
I got you. Don't worry. I know
you get stuck with the rarities, which is good.
I'll tell you what, for anybody that wants, you can't find this anywhere. It's impossible. We made these hand pure silver necklaces, and we each signed a certificate of authenticity, and they're all numbered.
This was a while back.
Whoever donates $5,000 today will get one. Okay? I know it's a lot of money, but remember, it's a deduction, so you're basically getting it for free.
We're ad-libbing now. We're just, John's just like, he's opening up a whole thing. This is great. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our next guest. His name is Narek Mgrdician. He's an Armenian parliamentarian from the Civil Contract Party. He's on the Standing Committee on Foreign Relations in Armenia and spearheading an initiative to establish a modern hand prosthetic lab in the Homeland Defenders Rehabilitation Center in Yerevan. The new lab will be the first to provide modern hand prosthesis. I've known Narek for a while. We've worked together on a program to basically plant trees in a certain part of his district. A couple of years ago, we got not Armenia Fund, Armenia Tree Project involved at the time, and that's how we were able to first communicate. Welcome, Narek.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for making me a part of this amazing project, sir. And thank you of the System of a Down for doing this project. And you are right, we are working for you on the Green Project, and which succeeded in fact.
Thank you for being a part of this. And I have to say, you have the coolest background of anybody that's been on so far.
Narek, why don't you tell us about the hand prosthetics program that you're working on with the Homeland Rehabilitation Center?
In fact, I have been engaged in different projects in bringing modern technologies, medical technologies, and military doctors in Armenia during the war. And after the second week of the war, I understood that our soldiers, wounded soldiers, would need new prosthetics, especially hand prosthetics. And I started to working with my colleagues in different countries, and with the help of my Icelandic colleagues, I found one of the top companies which produces upper limb prosthetic, the Osur company, and I started the communication negotiation with them, and they agreed to help us to have modern high-tech hand prosthetics laboratory in Armenia, and I have started the collaboration with the rehabilitation center, or Zimvoritun. And in fact, I can say that thanks to the collaboration and the people who believed in our project, and among the first people who joined us, in fact, sir, it's you that you announced that you are going to invest in our project through the All Armenian Fund. And now I can say that we are in the third phase. The first part of my project is to have agreement with the international specialists, CPOs, doctors, and we formed, let's say, the multidisciplinary team from different countries, from Iceland, from Netherlands, from Russia, from Germany, because in fact in Armenia there is no modern lab of upper limb prosthetics, and we are going to provide high-tech hand, the functional hands, the eye limbs, which in fact can return the soldiers into the normal life, and they can use functional hands, the modern hands, which are controlled by the brain, by the impulses of the brain. As for now, we have 25 soldiers who need upper limb or hand prosthetics, and from the 6th of February, we are waiting for international specialist CPOs who will be visiting Yerevan, and they will start the second stage of our process to do some research to understand what kind of the OSUR prosthetics they would need, and then we'll move to the third stage of our project, the production and the import of the prosthetics into Armenia. So we are working also with the government of the Republic of Armenia, all Armenian Fund, and I can say that so the government accepted as a model our project, and thanks to you, this became public, and many professionals from different countries, they joined my initiative, and now this has become a part of the state policy on providing prosthetics for our soldiers. And
what is the cost of retrofitting 25 soldiers that need prosthetic hands?
In fact, the cost of one hand prosthetics, it differs from type, from the size of the amputation, etc. The cost is between $30,000 to $50,000. And in fact, it's more than $1 million. So the government is also ready to be part of this project, and also all Armenian Fund to implement this project. And after, with the help of your publication, different individuals, different organizations, they express their willingness to be a part of this. And the important thing is that the government accepted this concept as a part of the state policy also for the long run projects. For example, after war, after solving the problem of the veterans, this concept can work also for further processes and Armenians who would need later, for example, hand prosthetics. So the project and the laboratory will be used also for others.
Nadik, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I would like to say for anyone, one more little caveat here, for anyone that can donate enough to get a hand or a limb, I will give you a drum set. Right?
Thank
so
you.
remember, your deduction is 100% tax deductible, and I will personally buy a drum set from Tama. And if you're in an area where I can get to, I'll come by, and Sako and I will come by, and we'll set it up for you and give you a drum lesson as well. Okay, so if you can get to that amount, it doesn't have to be today.
That's $30,000 to $50,000, somewhere in between. For
remember, it's tax deductible, especially here in the United States. So you'll basically get a drum set for free, a drum lesson for free, and you and I can make fun of Sako for an hour or so while we're there. Nadik, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nadik.
Nadik, thanks for joining.
Thank you very much. And also, I want to thank you on behalf of parents of the soldiers. Yesterday, I was in Artsakh, and when I talked them about this initiative, they personally asked me to thank you for these efforts for helping our wounded heroes. Thank you again.
We have to thank them. They don't have to thank us. They're the ones that sent their sons to fight for us. So just convey that message to them. We owe them thanks. They owe us nothing.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Nadik.
Have a good one.
Երբ սահմանին կռիվ էր, հայ զինվորներն իրենց մտքում գծում էին հայրենիքի պաշտպանության քարտեզը։ Յուրաքանչյուր գծակիր մի հերոսի պատմություն է, կյանք տվողների ու կյանք փրկողների խաչմերուկում էլ որոշվում էր նրանց ճակատագրերը։
Մնկած ընկերներն իմ մոտիկ շատ ոգեհարազատ մարդիկ էին, իմ ղեկավարներն էին, որոնց կորուստի համար է շատ եմ ցավում մինչև առեսօր։
Ընկերների կորուստը ապրելուց հետո Էմիլ Թամոյանին կրկին ապրելու ուժ են տվել նրա 3 զավակները։
Այդ բային ես աղջիկաս եմ տեսել, ճիշտ ասած, ինձ աղջիկս օգնեմ։ Դուք գիտակցի որ պիտի պայքարեմ էլ որ չթուլանամ, արդեն այն վիճակի չէի ոտքի վրա չէի կանգնում։ Զգացողությունն է, ինչ որ մի բան պակաս։
Գյումրու քրեական հետախուզության ավագ օպեր լիազորը պայքարում էր ամենաթեժ կետում՝ Շուշիում։
Մեր ժողովուրդը պատրաստ ենք պաշտպանելու ամեն ինչով, ուղղակի մի բանից ստեղծվեց ամեն ինչ, որ չհասցրեցինք։ Մենք արդեն վերակաշխավորում ենք, որ դիրքեր կբարձրանանք։ Շուշիեն կընտրոններ։ Իրավորումը պայթուն եմ զգացել։ Երևի չգիտեմ ինչ էր, կամ պեսպիլոտնիկ էր, կամ լոռա էր։
Կողքին կանգնած ընկերների շնորհիվ է, որ արթնացել է հոսպիտալում ու նոր կյանք է ստացել։
Մեկս մեկիս համար ամեն ինչին էլ պատրաստ ենք։ Յանքել էին վիրավորված, դե որ քանի օր ծանր է, օգնեցին, շկուտկցին։
Վիրահատությունն անցկացնում է Ստեփանակերտում, բայց արթնանում է Գորիսում։ Մոտ 1.5 շաբաթ է, ինչ այցելում է հայրենիքի պաշտպանի վերականգնողական կենտրոն։
Անցնում է ֆիզիոթերապիա, ասեղնաբուժություն, պրոթեզան այնքել են։ Ես աշլիկ եմ, ասին այդ պրոթեզն էլ տրվի, շարժողական պրոթեզը։ Ասին ներվային իմպուլսների հետ ահագին օգուտ կտա, կարող ես շարժես ձեռքը տաստակը դու գրիչել կարաս վերցնել ձեռքդ։
Անցյալի նպատակները մնացին հետևում, առջևում նոր երազանքներն են։
Hi, this is Johan from Lincoln Park. Please support our friends in System of a Down as they raise funds and raise awareness for soldiers who were left as amputees in the recent conflict with Azerbaijan and Turkey.
Hey there, this is Tom Morello. Please join me and my brothers in System of a Down in donating funds to help those who were adversely affected by the Armenian war, to help get prosthetic limbs and medical treatment for those who were harmed in that conflict. Thank you very much.
All right, we're back.
We're back. I want to thank Johan from Lincoln Park and Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, who gave us those great videos. Thank you very much for the support, guys. At this time, we should bring on the video team, the team that helped us make the Genocidal Humanoidz video. Let's bring on Adam Mason, who is my co-director, an amazing, amazing person, artist. Hello. And we used an amazing animation team. They're called Deep Sky. And I want to bring on Barrett, Jared, and Mike on. Are they here?
Hello, hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Is this thing on? Yeah, good. So, man, this was a task for us. You know, we had the concept. I'll start from the beginning. I chose Adam Mason because, well, I've seen a few of the videos he's made. He did a corn video, I think an AFI video, really amazing stuff. And I kind of met him through North Kingsley, the other project I'm doing. He did a video for us for Die for the Pick, and he was just so easy to work with and such an amazing artist. When the time came to choose someone, I said, let's call Adam. And Adam came in full strong with a team, a writing team. I kind of explained to him the small amount of concept I had in my head, and he and his team went to work, wrote a great treatment for us. And Adam, can you please tell me a little bit about the process that it took after I explained what I wanted to do with the song and the video? How did you take it from there? What happened? What was the next steps from there?
Yeah, I mean, first up, there was a location outside of LA. There was kind of like a bombed out city that we were going to film there, with a kid basically searching the city for a flower that he was going to put on his dead mother's body. And because of COVID and all of those kind of restrictions, it just became, too expensive to even attempt to pull off. And then Shavo suggested that we went down the animation route. And I think it had a great experience with this company called Deep Sky. And then we went, full force in that direction. And these guys just did the most incredible animation for the video that you're about to see.
There was also the ending, which involved the diaspora, and that would mean us bringing hundreds of people together, which also was actually, I think, the main reason for going with animation. But I'm so happy we did, because these guys did such an amazing job with it. To me, the little boy represented Armenia, you know, and I think they understood that, and it came off so perfect. The exact vision I had came and became, you know, a thing. Guys, thank you again for, you know, joining us on this call and being here for us, supporting us the way you did. And always have. Thank you again. They've also done stuff for Smashing Pumpkins. I think I saw that one. It was an amazing video. So I think that was the breaker of like, I want these guys bad. And they came through. They had a very small amount of time for us, and they totally rocked it. Guys,
way cooler than I thought it would be, by the way, especially in the amount of time we had. You guys just overperformed. So
please, guys,
Thank you.
Can you tell us the process that it took? I want to know what each one of you did for the video, and the whole process, just from A to Z. Take it.
Sure. I'll let Barrett talk about the creative aspect and designing, and Mike did a phenomenal job directing our team. And I kind of just brought the team together and helped make this happen in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Barrett?
Yeah. So, I mean, we had just such a rich kind of script to work with, and that's really kind of the most important part when you're starting a project, right? Is getting a script that is rich with imagery and visuals that we can kind of draw from. And so, with a lot of symbolism and metaphors, and we just kind of ran with it, and it was a great collaboration, just bouncing ideas off of everybody. So
awesome, amazing. Mike, tell us what your role was in this.
I just co-directed this with Barrett, and you know, it was just really just to jump off what Barrett was saying. It was just such an interesting project because he came to us with this wonderful script, and we had to make something that was just, you know, inherently a metaphor, but it was also very specific to something that was occurring in real time, you know, and like this very fraught situation. And so it's a tough balance to try and figure out stylistically how you do this thing, which could be a little more, I don't know, fantastic, but also weighted in like the gritty reality of what's going on. And so it was a little bit of a struggle to just try and figure that out. And luckily we had your guidance to help us through it.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you guys made a great team. I really appreciate you again. Adam, let's talk about your writing partner who helped us.
Yeah, Simon Boys. Yeah, he helps us with the script. That was you know, a really great collaborative experience between the three of us, and then, you know, just trying to get all of the imagery that you were talking about and then find a way to condense it into, you know, I think the song's like 2 minutes, 50 seconds long. So there was a lot going on that we were trying to convey. But it was just one of those great projects that all came together. It was an absolute joy to make, you know.
Usually you shoot and then you have to, there's such a, you know, because the time happens so fast, you're trying to look for things to fill in. With this video, I felt like there was a difference with it because the song was so short and we had such amazing animation. And then when we shot the live stuff, it was like there was so much footage. I wanted to put more in it, but there was no time to put. You know what I mean? Because
I just don't understand why you had us do it in the nude.
With what?
Why did we have to be in the nude to shoot this video?
That was a personal thing, guys. That was no, honestly, I could have shot 2 separate videos with the amount of footage we got, right? We should actually do a full live one and see how that comes out. But that's in the future. I also want to thank John Eddy, who did the lights for our video. He's an amazing live light designer. He's worked with the likes of Deftones and such, and I've always admired the work he's done. And it's really funny. There's a quick little thing he said. Back in the day, there's a video on YouTube where the band Jumps Me. And this is a long time ago. And I ended up in a hospital because Daron's guitar hits me in the head. I walked up, there's blood everywhere. Next thing you know, I'm in an ambulance. They took me to get scars, right? And stitches, I'm sorry. And so John told me that when he was in that crowd and he had broken his leg in the pit and he was in the ambulance and all of a sudden the ambulance doors open and they bring Shavo. And he's and they asked him, hey, is it okay if he shares the ambulance with you? And John was just a fan at the time, hadn't done lights or anything before. So just full circle, you know, really cool little thing he said. And that just like bonded us right there. I was like, wow, that's why you're here right now, bro. So
kind of like you being in the, what was it, the Terminator video?
No, I was in the AC/DC video with
for Terminator, right?
Yeah, with for Last Action Hero.
And I was in the last scene of Wayne's World 2.
No, you weren't.
I'm in the credits.
So,
see, bro, you know what? Just our thing isn't just System of a Down. We're also actors.
We're also actors. We're also extras. That's. Oh, I also want to give a big shout out to Jason Henry. He donated a lot of that lighting for us that you're about to see in the video. Oh, also there was a team, because once we were done with the video had different looks. We shot live, and then we also shot the animation, right? So we wanted to make it all look as one. So an amazing team. Adam, what was the team you
yeah, it's Company 3 and Stefan Sonnenfeld who did all of the color stuff, donated all of that time. Amazing.
They color coordinated and corrected the video all for free. They did it for us. Amazing. I want to thank them also. So guys, thank you for being on with us. I can't wait for everyone to see the video. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I just watched it last night, and it's awesome.
You saw it.
I just saw it. We did all this work and spent so much time crafting it, and finally seeing it this whole vision come together. It's really great.
That's good. I haven't seen it yet. I'm dying to see it, man. I didn't get a chance.
22 minutes.
This premiere.
It's so good. It's so good.
22 minutes left for the video, everyone. Once again, I want to thank you guys for everything you guys did for us, for making this happen, for coming on this live with us, and always the continued support. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Adam, thanks for not knocking into me during the.
Oh yeah, remember I took that fall as well.
Yeah, no, you did incredible work, man. You did incredible work.
Thank you.
That was your birthday, by the way. That show.
That was a birthday show, was it? I don't know. I don't remember.
Guys, I'd like to welcome Harry Kazazian on the phone right now to our live event. And the reason I'm bringing you on here is because I'm going to ask you to donate $200,000 for a very important product that we're going to be using. Huh? What? Are you getting a bad signal? We're not talking about like your personal achievements right now. We're saying what you can give today. And Harry is going to help us raise $200,000 for at least one of those laser machines. Thank you, Harry. And once you get what you want, I've been taught that you hang up on people. And thank you very much, Harry, for that.
Johnny.
Harry, I think technically you're now obligated, since you didn't say no, to donate that $200,000. And what a wonderful person. And is there anyone else out there I can call to make you donate to? Let me think about this. Any fans? Any fans I can call right now?
I think we're up to 37.5 right now as we speak. This video will be on YouTube and will be continued. You can watch it anytime and donate for as long as
further. We've got another 20 minutes. Let's keep on doing this. Let me show the print again.
Show the lithogram a little bit. Lithogram.
It's important. There you go. Look at that. That is amazing. And
75 for one, $200 donation for a signed one. It's going to an amazing cause. I want to thank Drew Zamanijian for $205, Vazgen Badalian,
Matt, Austin,
Patrick, Dimitri $250, Eric Bartanian $299, Matt $200, Austin $205, Patrick.
Why don't we do a numbered version of it of 15? Okay?
Thank you, Varesh.
For 500. For 500, you get the signed and numbered version. We're only going to do 15 of them. So 1 to 15, $500. That should be at least $5,000, to be honest with you. But we're going to do $500 for the first 15 people who put that in their donation right now. $500 donations, you're going to get a signed and numbered, and there's only going to be 15 of those. So let's get that going, guys. This is the last couple of minutes before we wrap it up, and we'll show you the video. We premiere the video. We hope you enjoy it. Obviously, we've all worked very hard on it, and Shavo and the team that put the video together, fantastic in such a short amount of time. It's really impressive.
I also want to thank Daron for stepping up and bringing in the songs for us at such short notice. He had the songs written for another project, and he came in blasting with it. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you. And then we went in there. It was easy work because we could have done the whole thing. We could have started from scratch, but it would have taken so long. You know what I mean? The fact that he had them ready for us, and that's just one of our writing styles, and it worked out perfectly. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Wish we were here.
And one song, look, it's interesting that we did two songs, Shavo, because one is about the soldiers that were protecting the land, you know, and how important it is to protect your families. You know, a lot of people don't know the story of what happened in Artsakh, and you can go back for thousands of years and explain that they're Armenian lands, they're on their indigenous lands, etc. But the important thing is these people were just there, living on their own lands, having a normal life, and they were attacked. They were attacked brutally by not just Azerbaijan, but also Turkey and Syrian mercenaries from, you know, Syria that Turkey brought. And it's, you know, it's devastating. The humanitarian impact has been devastating. So I think Daron's lyrics for Protect the Land are very important to me personally, because they speak of that importance of those soldiers standing to protect their families and their indigenous homeland. And on the flip side, we've got Genocidal Humanoidz, for which we have the video coming up. And that is about the terrorists, the people that want to destroy everything. They don't understand about building anything, you know, about cultural, you know, investment, about, you know, really helping others. It's about destruction. It's about taking everything down. And, you know, so it's quite interesting how both songs have been a yin and yang of this particular war.
Because originally we were going to do one song. That was the original plan. When John hit us up, said on text, we should do something. We should get together no matter what. We were going to do one song. But as we heard that one song, we knew we wanted to hit all sides of System of a Down, you know, because we do have the mid-tempo stuff with the harmonies, but then we also have the aggro, which is, you know, the Genocidal Humanoidz vibe, which could be on our first record. That's how, you know, it's 20 some years later, and it sounds like, you know, something we could have done then that we're doing now, which still is relevant, and I'm really proud of that.
Maybe we did it then. This is a time warp. This is actually not happening right now, but actually happened 20
we recorded
years ago. Wrote a song about it. Want to hear? Here it goes.
I want to also thank Jamie Koziol for $200, Everett Barnes $250, Anania Malakian 200, Pete E 201. Thank you guys. Sevan, Guyane, Emily, Rudy Hansen, Wade. You guys are great. Thank you again for watching this. Thank you for
Blanca Medina, Guan Yun Jin, Jerry McCoy, Frank Daprol, Sean Baker, and David Simmons. Thank you all. We're very, very grateful for this. I know.
Thank you, Jim. Jim went out and donated, I think, in his kids' names.
Thank you, Jim.
Patrick from Victims of a Down. He's been such a supporter of this. We have fans out there that don't just listen to the music. Yeah, they live and breathe what we say and do. They really help out from all angles and support and are like an extended family to our band. So I want to thank all of them, and not just Victims. I mean, there's a lot of fan sites out there, a lot of cool Instagram pages that are, you know, just directed towards our mission, not just the music, but also.
Let's not forget, Shop, that we've had support from fans since day one, you know, and they really stepped up to show us support, not just financially, but also emotionally during this process. You know, it's been very difficult for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Like when we started,
sense of powerlessness.
When this whole thing started, all of even our posting style changed. You know what I mean? Personally and within the band, it was hard to post about fun stuff because this was happening to our people back home, and it was like we just saw red. We didn't see anything else, you know. And they all stepped up and saw red with us. They helped us as much as possible by changing their posting style and raising awareness to the people that follow them, which we are so fortunate to have. And after so many years of us being a band, for people to be there for us the way they are. Still till today, we owe them the world and everything. So again, much appreciated to all of you guys.
And there was a concerted effort to silence this information. You know,
let's talk about that. Let's
there
talk
was
about
a lot of money put behind it, but you can't silence the truth. Ultimately, it's going to find its way out. And really, it's because of the non-Armenian fans that we have, as well as the Armenians, but more so the non-Armenian fans worldwide who got the message out, who got the word out, talked about it in their schools, talked about it with their friends, you know, brought attention to the situation. And of course, we were able to come together as a band and do something that we haven't been able to come together and do in a long time. And I'm thankful to the band for putting aside all the other stuff that got in the way of us doing that. And I'm proud of us for doing that.
I want to share a quick story. The first time I felt like our band was actually making a difference with this whole thing was on tour. When we were on tour in '98, we were in the RV. I think we were in Texas somewhere. And, you know, back in the day, we had no security. We had nothing. Our RV was parked in the parking lot with all the fans. You know what I mean? So any fan could come and knock on our RV door and be like, hey, I'm here. And we did get a knock. And I opened the door. I remember this like it was yesterday, but it was '98. And it was a little kid, little white kid and his father. And they wanted us to sign, I don't know if you guys remember this, a report that the kid had done on the Armenian genocide. And in 1998, the Armenian genocide wasn't anything anyone knew what it was, you know, because, you know, with all the propaganda and all the stuff that Turkey has done throughout the years, back then it was just casualties of the war, they said. What war? I don't know what they're saying, you know. But so this kid had gotten an A+ on writing a history report on the Armenian genocide. And we asked him, how did he get all the information? He said, from you guys. Once I got it from you guys, I listened to the song Pluck. And then I went to the library and he did all this research and wrote a report and got an A+ on it. He was like 13 years old. I mean, we brought the kid in, we made the kid coffee, you know, the dad got coffee, the kid got a pop. It was amazing. So that was the first time I knew that something was happening.
That's a very cool story, Shavo. That's something I don't remember, but that's amazing. I mean, keeping in mind that people didn't really know what Armenians were, right?
They didn't. They thought we were Albanians, you know? That's what they said.
Part of Russia for what, 60 years, almost 70 years, something like that.
The Soviet Union, yeah.
A long time. Yeah,
No,
Soviet Union. So obviously there wasn't that much information about it being basically a state of the Soviet Union at that time. So, you know, but we have a rich history, a rich cultural and artistic history. And I think people will be interested in learning about the Armenians. We're one of the oldest races left on this planet. So it's important to remember our past so that we can also make strides in the future to do the right thing, you know, as a people. And
we're also, go ahead, sorry.
Keep in mind, ultimately, we're just one race here on the planet, you know. We're just one people. And if we can take away the barriers, take away the reasons that we create, that we conjure up to mistrust, distrust, and dislike each other. When you look at like the history of humanity and how many people have died needlessly out of fear or out of desire for more, whatever the case may be, we just don't have to live this way. Right. You know, we don't have to. We can choose not to live this way, but it's hard when you're being attacked to have those mindsets. But it's important for Armenia to remember that irrespective of what's happening, they're just people on the other side. And I know a lot of Armenians are angry right now. And but you got to take a step back and just say, at the end of the day, they're just people. We're just people. And we have to find a way to be neighborly. Imagine if I went right now to my neighbors and attacked them and said, no, I want your whatever. I want your outdoor furniture, your patio furniture. I need to have that outdoor patio furniture. And I went and I killed half their family to get the outdoor patio furniture. That's how much sense it makes. You know, okay, it's land at the end of the day. It's resources. It's money. It's religious, whatever excuse. We have to put these things aside and focus on bringing ourselves together, because it is too easy to continue to make the same mistakes. It's too easy, and we can't fall into that.
I want to thank Bianca for donating, Bianca Medina, Guan, Jerry, Frank de April, Josh, Sean Baker, David Simmons, all of you, thank you very much. I want to thank all the fans for watching this and donating and still being on here. The video is coming up in less than 5 minutes, I think, correct?
No, 9 minutes.
Nine.
Remember, you can still continue to
9
donate
minutes.
with the video replaying back. We appreciate it. We will tally it up, at the end, and not just of the end of this broadcast, but also later on. And yeah, I think John, I want to go back to what you were talking about, and I agree with you. I think on a humanistic platform, on a scale that we've always believed in, we've always believed in justice. And what really hurt me about all of this was that when people were like, oh, System of a Down standing up for Armenia, for Artsakh, because they're Armenian. It's not just because we're Armenian. It's because we're fighting against injustice, and that's something we've always done. Whether it's the hypocrisy of the denial of the Armenian genocide, whether it's abuse of our environment, whether it's abuse of another group of people, domination of another people, that's something that we've always stood for collectively, irrespective of our political viewpoints, irrespective of our differences as people. And to me, the situation of the aggressive attack and the bombing of civilians, the war crimes that have been committed by Azerbaijan and Turkey are unforgivable, and they need to be addressed in international courts properly. And we need the world to help with this. We need the international community. We need our friends and fans around the world to help us get this message out now, because it's not over. The injustice is not over. The immediate battles may be over, and there's a ceasefire, but like you said, there's no peace agreement, and the injustice isn't over. In fact, there's still 57 Armenian soldiers that are still in Azerbaijan, being tortured, from what we know.
Prisoners of war that are not letting go.
This is 2-3 months after the battles and war have stopped. And a lot of those soldiers were taken after the war. There's civilians that were taken after the war because they were on the wrong side of the agreement.
After the ceasefire, right, Serge?
After the ceasefire. So there's consecutive breaking of ceasefires, consecutive war crimes that are being committed now.
Lies being told to people. We have a lot of friends in the industry that have mentioned this and on their social media and have gotten attacked, have gotten death threats, have gotten the worst of the worst being said. And so they've had to pull back, which is a shame. It's a shame. A lot of non-Armenian artists out there have said stuff about this and have been forced to pull back because of fear, because of threats.
It's a form of cancel culture at the end of the day, which is something that I fight very hard against. I think that the truth always has to come out, and the truth always has to be heard, and it should never be pushed to the side, and it should never be suppressed. And ultimately, there are always going to be different opinions, and I'm sure that the government of Azerbaijan and Turkey, they have their own propaganda that they put out. So it's hard to fight against that, but we are doing it one step at a time, and we will eventually prevail, because when you're right, when you're just, and when you're searching for peace, eventually you prevail. And I look at Gandhi as my greatest example of that. Mandela also. These are two men who fought their whole lives against injustice peacefully. It can be achieved through peace, and sometimes it's a longer road, but it is a longer lasting peace than war. Of course you have to defend yourself. Of course you have to protect your families, but we have to find a way to do things peaceably. We have to open up trade with Azerbaijan and with Turkey. We have to get past our religious differences if we have them. I don't think that they really matter. Everybody has a right to worship in the way they want, but ultimately...
We have to do it through justice. We have to do it in a way that...
And also they need to figure out a way to get fair and honest elections in their countries and elect people that are gonna look for peace with their neighbors, I have to reiterate, they don't... The mother doesn't want to bury her son so they can fight Armenia. Right. They don't want to do it. And we don't want to bury our sons.
Azerbaijan has to stop with their, from kindergarten, they teach their kids to hate our people, Armenians. And they have to stop that. That's racism that starts from a very early age. That's a part of it as well. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think that there will be those things over time, but we have to also right now think of the people that are living in Artsakh and their protection, especially not having a status. You know, the world community has to come together and recognize Artsakh properly so that these people have some type of international protection.
And part of the responsibility of the West, you know, the United States, countries in Europe, you have to step up. You know, like you have a responsibility to not make the same mistakes you made in 1915 and just put it to the side and ignore it. It's happening again. All right, guys,
I want to thank,
we're going to leave it on that positive. We're going to leave it on that positive note. We want to thank everyone that's been involved. We've already raised over 50,000. It's not going to stop here. Follow us on our socials. We're going to be premiering some more shout outs on the socials. We want to save some for those so that we can continue the movement.
I want to thank Mixmaster Mike for shouting us out.
Oh, you're gonna see, that's one of the ones that was a surprise. You know,
no, they already posted. I think we posted Mixmasters. Yes.
So also, we're gonna end this with Matt from Event Sevenfold, who was a good friend, an amazing artist, and one of the first people to step up when I reached out to some close friends. And immediately is always willing to help. Great guy. So here's a little message from him before we get to our video. Thank you, everybody. And
thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? Just making this video to bring awareness to something our brothers in System of a Down are doing. As many of you know, there's a war going on in Armenia, and System of a Down is from there. It's something that's very close to their hearts. So they are raising money right now for the hundreds of people that need prosthetics, missing limbs, people that need medical care. And they're doing everything they can. As you know, they released 2 songs recently to help and aid over there. And now they're trying to get us and the heavy metal community and the rock and roll community, hopefully to put in some money and raise funds for these people. A terrible thing that's going on over there. And we're with our brothers in System of a Down. Hope you're all doing well.